Hello and welcome back to the Big O podcast. So, this week I am talking to you about holding the vision when there is no evidence. Now, a vision, oh my gosh, sometimes it can be incredibly hard even coming up with that vision to begin with. So, if you've gotten to a point where you have that clear vision, and I'm not just talking about goals, I'm talking about the vision, the life, the dream. Okay, basically that pleasure path which is going to lead you to the life that turns you on. That is what I'm talking about, the big vision. First of all, I really want to congratulate you on that, so a huge well done. And if that is something that you are not quite there with and you're in that state of confusion or just feeling stuck, I really want you to understand that, first of all, that is not uncommon. Okay, we go through that, we all go through that. That is what Evolution, my online group program, is all about, because I know how difficult it can be to get to the point where you have that clear vision and you really understand yourself enough to know that you have a life that you want, and you know your own desires, you know what brings you pleasure, you understand yourself, you understand your pleasure code, and you can start to kind of go towards and work towards and imagine and dream about that vision. Okay, now the thing about a vision though, and holding it when you don't have the evidence, is really, really hard. And what I want you to really understand, first and foremost, is that we are very, very limited by our imagination. So there's a lot about go dream big, create your dream life, go daydream about it all, and all of that jazz. But you can only imagine what you've already experienced. So I think with your imagination, you can stretch it a little bit further, but usually our imagination is very bound by what we have experience of already. So, for example, I am currently visualizing the type of home that I want to live in, but I understand, or understand, looking at my past self, I understand that I could only actually visualize to a certain extent because I had only experienced so much. I didn't know the type of home that was actually available to me. And until I put myself in the environment and around the people that had these bigger examples and this bigger understanding of what was available to them, I could not visualize that. So I want you to think of it this way: your imagination is bound, it's confined to anything you've experienced. So what actually supported me in that was a few things. So first of all, I would watch interior design programs that perhaps were working on houses that were over in America. There's, even to the point of the kind of Selling Sunset on Netflix vibe, where it's these multi-million dollar homes that are huge and they've got these pools and these glass windows everywhere and all of that. I would then also make sure that my circle of friends were those that had those kind of dreams and aspirations too, and were actively working towards them. Now, I'm so fortunate that my closest group of friends are ones that I've grown with over the last 10 years. We've had our children at the same time and we've worked our way up, and they are all in wonderful positions in life and they're very fortunate, and seeing them and being around them and talking to them about it really inspires me and lifts me, and that is so unbelievably important. And seeing their homes, the way that they've decorated it and the way that they've expanded it and extended it and the way the new places that they've moved to has helped me to elevate my own vision of what I want my home to be. And then finally, the circles that I've put myself into. So working with the coach that I work with, working with the women that I work with, who are all these big international conscious leaders. That again has helped me take that to the next level and understanding, well, where I could take myself with regards to my business and my home and living situation. It lifts you. So it was a combination of all of that that got me to a point where I could create that vision. So when you are wanting to elevate your life, and perhaps you're moving through a transition and through a change, and you're feeling quite lost, that's the point where it's really, really hard to even create a vision, let alone holding it. So I really want you to think about those things. How can you expand your own awareness? How can you put yourself in situations that is going to expand your imagination and elevate your expectations of what could be available for you? Okay, so with that, it could be, what are you exposing yourself to? What are you reading? What are you watching? Are you lifting yourself out of that? So, back in the day, and I'm talking, gosh, it's been a really long time, probably at least 10 years since I've watched this, but I used to watch things like EastEnders and Coronation Street and all of those. And that type of program was never going to elevate my thinking. In fact, it made me think that drama and misery was expected in life. Okay. Now, it was a very long time ago that I cut those type of programs out completely of my life. And when I did, I had the space to get in touch with myself. And I now play a very active role in being very selective about what I watch. So there's certain types of films and programs that I will not watch, because I know actually all they're going to do for me is make me believe that the world is a terrible place. Okay. So I actively choose the things that are going to lift my spirit. So think about what you're consuming, basically. What are you consuming? What are you reading? What are you watching? Okay, and how is that impacting you? Number two, your friendship group. Now, you are the average of the five of five. Okay, so think about those people that you spend time with. Are your friends there supporting you, cheerleading you? Are they lifting you? Do they make you feel like a better person, or do they make you want to elevate yourself? Okay. You can feel that in your body. How do they make you feel when you're around them? Now, one thing that is so clear, and a process that I've had to become really attuned with, is how the people I'm surrounding myself with make me feel. And like I said before, I am so fortunate to have a beautiful group of friends who really, really inspire and lift me and make me understand where my life could elevate to, what my relationships could look like, what my home could look like. Okay. And that's so important. So I want you to, secondly, basically look at your friendship groups. Are you choosing your friends wisely? Are you choosing your relationships wisely? So this massively includes your partner. Your partner, you probably have like 80% at least of your time with, or your conversation with. Are they a partner that brings out the best in you? Do they lift you? Do they inspire you? Do they share your dreams? Okay. Now, I'm not saying that if they don't do all of those things, then you end your relationship, but that is something that you need to be very, very aware of, and something that perhaps you need to bring to their attention as well. Perhaps there's a way that you guys could connect over something that's going to lift you both, and something that you're both excited about. So that could be, for example, like a new home, or where you could perhaps go on holiday and things like that. And I want you to really work on sharing that vision and beginning to lift each other. And thirdly, where is your support network? So that is, I'm not talking about your close friends, because what I realize, and is very clear from working with my coach now for a very long time and working with the women that I work with, is that I will talk to them about all my business things, and they will lift me so much and inspire me so much with taking that to the next level and really supporting the people that I want to support. I don't really go in there and talk about the things to do with my children and my day-to-day life, although that does come into it. Sometimes that's part of it, but that's what my close friendship group are about. So when I talk about your support network in that way, I'm not talking about your friendship network. Okay, this is a different container. Who are you surrounding yourself with? Now, for example, if I was to be surrounding myself with people that perhaps have had a job that the kind of ceiling level income is 20 to 30,000, then I'm going to think, well, that's the average, that's the norm, that's all I'm ever going to get. Okay. Instead, I am actively choosing to work alongside women that have far greater aspirations and are in fact in a much higher income bracket than I am, because it makes me understand that that is possible for me as well. I am their peer. I work alongside them. They get a great value from what I say and what I contribute in those groups as I do from them. And therefore, it makes me understand that the potential that I have is what they have. So it lifts my expectations and it lifts my imagination. Now, if you can put yourself into that kind of support network, those type of containers that basically bring out the best in you, then what you're actively choosing to do, and this comes back to choosing yourself again, something that, by the way, next week's episode, we are really deep diving into choosing yourself and the pain that can happen with that. But by choosing to put yourself in those types of containers, then you are actively expanding and lifting your capacity to receive. Okay, your capacity to allow yourself to dream bigger. And rather than being limited by your imagination, you are working to elevate it. Okay. And that is how you get to hold the vision, by looking for the evidence elsewhere. Okay. So where you are right now doesn't have to be your evidence. In fact, where you are right now and what you've already experienced can be the thing that generates so much fear and what can actually hold you back from taking risks and moving forward. So you need to choose to do this. You need to choose to consume the right materials. You need to choose your friends very wisely, and you need to choose the containers, the networks that you put yourself into, lift yourself and lift your imagination. So, that is what I want to leave you with today. And I just want to say this is what we really deep dive into on my online group program, Evolution. It is an intensive 3-month program where we deconstruct you and rebuild you up so that you can strip back to your core needs, your core desires, your pleasure code, and then actively work to create a life that turns you on through that. So if you want to know a little bit more about that, or if you want to continue this conversation with me, then come and find me at Joyous Misfit on Instagram. I'm also on Facebook, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts about this. So I look forward to talking to you next week about choosing yourself, and what that actually means and what that can actually look like and how to do it. So take care, my loves, and I will speak soon.